Join me now from New York City, founder of Geltrude & Company, Dan Geltrude. Dan, thank you so much for joining me. Dan, these shortages are real. I don't know if you've been to restaurants lately or have been out during the pandemic. Things are clearly not the same, and the shortages are real. And what effect is this going to have? How long is it going to take for businesses to recover? It's like they can't catch a break.
Well, particularly the restaurant industry, boy, they're really taking it on the chin. They got a bad rap right out of the gate where they were shutting down restaurants, presumably because it was somewhere where you were going to get COVID or potentially get COVID. But as the science has proven out, restaurants were not really the place to catch the virus. So they get shut down, and we know the story from there. Now we're looking at these shortages, and now the demand is there, but yet the supply is not. I believe all of these problems go back to a single issue, and that is not having enough workers at every place in the supply chain. If people would get back to work, I think this would relieve itself. I do think that that's going to happen. If you ask me when, I'm going to say at the end of the summer going into September. Why? Because that's when the federal unemployment benefits are going to be ending.
Yeah, that's a real struggle, and business owners are talking about how hard it is to find workers right now as they begin to reopen. So again, hit again. They just can't catch a break. And it's not just chicken that we're worried about. There's shortages across the board in several different industries, including the automotive industry, among others. And some are concerned that these shortages could cause problems not just for this year, but for years to come.
That could definitely be the case. And what we should learn from this whole experience is the United States, depending upon foreign countries for various materials, particularly chips. So these microchips that we need for cars, computers, and everything else, well, we're looking at the virus spreading still through Asia is shutting down that supply chain in order for us to get those materials. So in that regard, we are still going to see for some time to come the difficulty in us being able to get the products we really need.
Yeah. And you just touched on this, which was the shortage of finding employees for businesses. And you were predicting that maybe in the fall, things will start getting back to normal, but we're starting to see governors making, difficult decisions, and that is that they're going to turn down the federal money. They're going to stop giving out so much money, and many governors actually want to reward people who get back to work. And so I think that is the solution here, because we can't keep dragging this out for much longer.
I agree, Stephanie. It is unfortunate that the governors of so many states, I think right now it's 21 and counting, actually have to bribe people to go back to work and get them to stop taking free money, although you can't blame them. The federal government is handing it out. However, we are never going to fully recover from the pandemic on a state-by-state basis until we can get people away from the free government money. So what do you end up doing? You bribe them with more free money, and then employers are going to be stuck with having to pay higher wages. Ultimately, nothing is free, Stephanie. Who pays? We do.
Yeah, you're right. And so we have a lot of these politicians on the left that are like, oh, you got to raise the minimum wage. We're going to pay like $20 for, fast food working and flipping burgers and this and that. Okay, if they could. But we're all going to pay for that. It's not like the corporations and the CEOs and all these other people are going to get pay cuts. All of that ends up affecting our pocketbooks. It's not like a transfer of wealth here.
It's not at all. Actually, it's really a backdoor to raising the minimum wage. And look, here's the best example of this. A while ago, a couple years ago, there was a real push for $15 an hour minimum wage in the fast food industry. Ultimately, the fast food companies relented, and they did what? They gave the $15. How did they react? They raised prices And they started to move away from human capital. They started to use artificial intelligence, using less people. Why? So that those corporate bottom lines would stay the same. And who suffered? All of us did, because now when you buy fast food, it's more expensive and they're employing less people. It was a lose-lose, but politicians can't see it that way.
Yeah, and it hurts young people the most, those who are getting their first job. And so why would employers hire young people that don't have that much experience when they can hire somebody else when they have to pay that type of money? Really quickly, I want to talk about this. I'm kind of excited about it. So California theme parks have been cleared to return to full capacity in June. So it kind of looks like things are getting back to normal in California. It's unclear. I don't know if they're going to make you wear a mask, but that's a big step because the theme parks have been really struggling during the pandemic. And we know in Florida, they were the first to open. But yeah, now California is on the way.
Well, all I would say about that, Stephanie, is it's about time. Look, again, when you are outside at these theme parks or whatever the outdoor activities may be at a theme park, your chances of catching COVID are so small. So why did we have to really destroy so many parts of the economy for reasons that just didn't make sense? Again, are they following the science? I don't think so. However, for people in California, I think this is great progress, and hopefully there's not going to be any looking back after this.
Yeah. Well, hopefully they'll be able to find some workers to help in the park, because it's probably going to be tough. And as you pointed out, things probably won't be back to normal until the fall. Anyways, Dan, we appreciate you joining us on the program. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Stephanie.
Of course. Coming up next,